Darryl Birch told me when I was 15, he said, if something is real in the world, something is real in a book, you will know because you will see it in the world. So the thing about research that's important for each one of you all to know, it's very important for all of you to know, is that when you read in things, it's not just cold words on a page. It's quite literally explaining to you what's going on in the world. You cannot understand anything that's going on in the world if you don't know how to research. And what that does, if you can't research, you're at the mercy of people who can. If you can't research, you're at the mercy of people who can. If you can't research, you're at the mercy of people who can. Some data says this. It's the dangerous thing in the world. Some data says this. Some data says that the average American reads on a 4th grade reading level. Y'all are young, but remember this. There's a television show, super famous, a few years ago. It's called Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Why is that? Because the average American reads on a 4th grade level.
Average?
Yes.
Like everybody combined?
Combined is a 4th grade level.
Are they like counting babies too? No. Because they can't read. That don't sound real.
You just asked could any comment? Help me, Jesus. Anyway, poor baby, bless your heart. Look, are you smarter than the 5th grader? Is the aim of do you think the aim of the game is to give people money?
No.
No, so we made literally the image is like an adult. Standing there talking to a child, the child happens to always be smart. Because the average American reads on a 4th grade level.
What? Like an average. That makes sense.
It makes sense.
The average American?
It's a 4th grade level?
Yes.
The average American?
Picture this. Imagine this. Imagine this. Y'all disagree? You think you disagree?
No, I agree.
Imagine this. Imagine this. There is a candidate that won a United States Senate race.
Okay.
The one, not the Senate race, but won the primary race, which selects the candidate. And this is what this candidate just said yesterday, that he won the primary for his party. Say that one more time.
What?
The party, in their primary election to pick their candidate, when they had an election, this person won. You want to know what this candidate just said?
What?
Okay. He said, we don't have to, so now watch it. We shouldn't clean, they want you to think, I'm paraphrasing, but almost directly quote. They want you to think that we should spend money on cleaning the United States air. You know the United States has some of the best and cleanest air than anywhere in the world. And if we clean the United States air, our air gonna go to China, and China's air.
I know who you're talking about.
And our air is gonna go to China, and China's dirty air gonna come over here.
I heard you. I know who you're talking about. He was a black man too.
Don't say that.
He was.
No. My point. What's my point?
He was a black man.
Did I tell you not to say that?
He was. He was a what you gonna say?
That ain't the point. The point is.
That's the point.
No, the point is, this person convinced thousands of people to choose them as the candidate.
But that he didn't. But not with that. I don't believe that African Americans are
No,
No,
They gotta be
listen.
different.
No, listen. Who do you have to be to allow a person who would say that in public to be your candidate?
Bro, I wouldn't do that personally.
No, you said I. That's why I'm teaching you about research. You're saying I. That's not a research question. I'm saying what kind of populace has to exist for that person to get folk vote?
Did they do statistics? Did they research?
You missed it. You missed it. You missed it. Let me help you. Who do you have to be? Somebody who does not understand research.
Does it also mean like you don't understand like the interpretation thing to understand like what they're
When he said what I just said,
illiterate?
yes.
Oh!
Yes. killing me.
I'm so sorry.
My baby can read. High five. Yes. Listen. If you and you know what happened when he just said what I just said about Air?
Ow.
People clap. People like, yeah. Someone want to win right there. Yeah.
Are you for real?
If I'm lying, I'm sorry, and I can't do it.
Yeah, they're gonna put this back here over here.
So think about that. That defies all scientific logic. And he said this to a room full of folk. And folks was clapping like, that's my man.
All older white though, so you gotta think about it. They probably got dementia. These people are all verbatim material.
I know you can't help it. No,
I'm just saying.
you don't talk to I call on you. Listen. No, I know this is funny. But what kind of world does that create?
I'm very stupid.
No, but think about it. In your country, some jokers got together. 10,000 of them. I need you to picture this. 10,000 people got together in Dallas and stayed outside all night. Slept outside in tents. I mean, they was here with it. Do you know why they was outside in tents in Dallas? Because they thought that John F. Kennedy Jr. was going to show up.
What?
Yeah, don't worry. They know I'm getting it. That he was going to show up. He was going to announce that, in fact, he wasn't dead. And he was going to be the vice presidential person for Donald Trump in 2024.
Why did John F. Kennedy?
Wait 1 second. He said that's what they thought. And they believed it so much that they got on planes and trains and drove miles and hours believing this foolishness. John F. Kennedy Jr., bless his soul, he dead, y'all. He's gone. 10,000 people believed it so hard that they showed up in Dallas. Like in the last year. Now, hold up. They thought he was, yes. They were wholeheartedly convinced. I'm talking about signs. I ain't like Google. Google it, I'm lying. If I'm lying, I'm fine. Pick up these phones, Google it. You think I'm lying, I'm fine. Pick it up.
I didn't hear about that.
People said John F. Kennedy relax. What do I search up?
Just Google it.
Kennedy Jr.?
JFK Jr. Dallas. Type in Dallas.
It was kind of.
Oh, so the son of him.
Yes, QAnon convinced people.
Oh, are you
I'm not playing. Hey, look.
No.
Look.
Conspiracy theory.
Look at him outside.
Who's he?
That's him standing outside.
No, he gone. Lord have mercy. Lord
That's
Jesus.
wise, bro.
No, he gone.
Blaming.
No, JFK Jr., he gone.
I knew that. I knew that.
Now, hold up. No,
She was.
no, that's you talking about JFK Sr. I'm talking about the Jr. Now, hold up, listen.
His son.
That ain't the point. Y'all missing? Listen. The point I'm making is, this is how easily you can be manipulated if you can't research.
But that's just plain dumb. That's common sense. Yeah, that's not even research.
If you cannot research, you will be victimized by people who can't.
Amputate.
No.
10,000 people got together and said, you know what we doing? We going to Dallas because JFK Jr. is not dead. And he is going to show up and he is going to say that he's going to be Donald Trump's vice presidential running mate in 2024. Now y'all told me, ain't no way. There ain't nobody gonna do that. Did they do it?
Yeah.
You see the pictures?
Yeah.
Okay, so apologize to me, everybody, right now. Just so y'all know. I need something back. Because y'all said
I was surprised. That was a reaction out of shock. You know what I mean?
now, what Daryl Birch taught me is so important in this moment. Because we live in an anti-intellectual society. Bad things happen because people can't research. One website was able to convince 10,000 people to show up in Dallas and pay their money and make signs Sleep outside the tent. As somebody who has once slept outside the tent because of the New Jersey Urban Debate League, I will tell you it ain't fun. Sleeping outside ain't fun. You catch L's. You fall off mountains, all kind of fools. Anyway, there's no story entirely. However, listen. This is the truth. All of y'all said, ain't no way people did that. You looked at me, called me a lie in my face. I'm really hurt. But the point that demonstrates is that an anti-intellectual society it creates victims. It makes victims out of people every day. Somebody was sitting on their house on the internet and said, JFK Jr. living? I'm going to see it. Where? He coming out where? Girl, where's my plane ticket? People got online. I can't convince Elijah to come have dinner with me at 7 o'clock until he know I'm getting ready. He know it, but the thing, you going to Dallas? The JFK Jr.? Yeah, bro, we good. We good, dog. We out.
I think some of them are still there.
Huh?
I think some of them are still there.
That could be true, yeah.
As of like this spring, some of them are still there.
They still believe that?
Yes!
Oh, yeah.
Why do y'all cannot believe it?
In Dallas, Texas.
Because like I feel
They're doing what though?
like you can actually just sit there and think like, yeah,
Oh,
this
damn,
man died in a
Junior?
plane crash. He's gonna come out from his dust wind.
From
And say
Now.
I'm here.
Now hold up. Now hold up. Hold up. It gets better.
Scary. That's
Hold up. It gets
scary.
better now. Hold up. It gets better now. His thing about research. This man wrote another scary book that didn't become relevant to me until like 15 years after I read it the first time. This is Harold Cruz. Yes, sir.
Oh,
He stepped out to the
Be
thing.
correct. I'll tell him to talk to you soon as you get back. All right. Harold Cruz. Now, I don't know if y'all looked around this room. It's a little dark in here. Double, y'all catch that later. Now, good job. Yeah. That would got me fired. Anyway.
I ain't even going to mine. I didn't realize what you were saying.
We could. Right here. That's right. I got you. If you're reading this, it's too late. Now, Harold Cruz wrote a book called The Crisis of the Negro Intellectual. Y'all didn't hear me. Now, here's the reality. The reason I included a picture of Professor Cruz is because the text that he talks about gives a very scary thing. Tell me, Elijah, what year was his book written, The Crisis of the Negro Intellectual? You got it. Look at it. Nah.
It's like my heart.
I feel like 1967, could be wrong. Anyway, he writes this book, and one of the projections he has in the book is that if black intellectuals don't get their life together and have a real response to the world, that the masses of black people are in like genocidal levels of trouble.
No.
I don't know what to think about that.
Right, like, no.
Oh, okay. That sounds good.
Stop, because you're scaring me.
I wasn't trying to make you happy.
I'm going state.
Well,
You're killing me.
this is written like 40 years before you was born.
4 years.
40.
Oh, I thought you said 4.
67, I was right. Look at that. Now, Harold Cruz writes this book in 1967. Come on, Newark, what happened?
Right.
Ain't no record.
Oh, convention.
The U word.
Rebellion? No convention?
Uprisings.
What did we
yes.
talk about?
Rebellions.
Rebellion
We gonna deal with
versus
you.
riot.
Take that jacket over here. Maybe that's just constructive. All right, listen. Now, I still love you. I might take you wrong, but I still love you. Now, the reality is, Harold Cruz says that. I'm gonna give y'all. This is good. Now, this is a little scary. I know it's gonna hurt me too when I read it. Who do you think? Since people don't like to read, and some people show up, jokers show up and sleep outside. Here's what's scary for black folk though, ready? Who do you think has the highest and biggest and widest volume and collection of black literature in the country?
I don't know. A white person.
No, not a white person, somebody scarier than that.
A black person.
Way scarier than that.
What's
Not you.
white man?
Maybe the, but not a.
Hit what? Oh, never
No,
mind.
he goes. Thanks.
Wait, the person's still alive?
No, the entity is very much alive. It's not a person.
Okay. You know that thing in Washington D.C. with all the collections or all the books that we publish.
The Library of Congress? No, sir. No, ma'am.
Not
Sorry. Yes.
The government?
Uh,
More specific.
More specific.
3
That's
letters.
what I said.
Alphabet boys.
Problems?
The alphabet.
Problems?
Think of the government that might use only certain sections of the alphabet, a few letters.
KKK?
The government, while maybe institutional, not governmental.
A part of the Brennan Academy?
Yes, the FBI.
That's what you just said.
There's a I'll never give Black man credit. I'm sorry. Need me.
What was it?
All right, look. It's the FBI. The Federal Bureau of Investigation. There's a book called FBI, EYES, not written by her crew, but it's called FBI. And it talks about one of the things that they did by building this collection and reading all this literature that we refuse to read is so that when an uprising happened, they know who to come get.
So let's stop writing books. Let's stop calling books.
Not quite. That's the opposite is true. Have you all noticed? Have you all noticed? If you get in any group, I don't care what it is, somebody got to be a leader. Okay. I give you an example. When I had one of the best debate partners in the world, I think he's the best debater ever. I beat the number 2 team in America by myself and didn't even get on the list. But I'm not bitter. Not bitter. But at some point, you look at him and go, hey man, what we gonna do? Time for me to be quiet. Sometimes he look at me and went, bruh. The thing about intellectuals is they give guidance and instructions and make predictions and create order, hierarchy. If you understand that, the government thinks we need to know where Amiri Baraka is. We need to know what Malcolm X is up to. I wonder what Tamika Mallory is doing. I wonder what Elijah Smith is doing. I wonder what Chris Randall is doing.
An example, when something is racist, what do y'all call it? Y'all have a word for it. It starts with an A. Specifically against black people.
Anti-black?
Mm-hmm. But why do you know that word? Have y'all all seen this on Twitter? Oh, that's anti-black.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
Somebody.
Somebody like who?
Probably like a black influential civil rights leader or something like that.
Well, before 2010, did anybody on MySpace?
Nope.
I know y'all don't know what that is.
No, yeah, we know.
But do you think people on MySpace were saying that's anti-black?
No.
Well, a book came out in 2010 that was about anti-blackness by an academic who's may or may not have been a part of a revolution and killed some people who were light colored in South Africa during apartheid. He wrote this book, and it was about why we need to focus on anti-blackness, not just racism in general, but when we talk about black people, we need to talk about anti-blackness. So this trickles down into grad students, and then this trickles down into activists, right, who are partly grad students. So this moves away from the academy and into the streets. And people in the streets and the academy start using this on Twitter, use it on social media, they use it in speeches, right? When they went and they interrupted Bernie Sanders, they were like, you're anti-black. So then this discourse about anti-blackness becomes less just about academia and more about why focusing on black struggle again, right? After the 90s was multicultural. Has anybody seen a show called Captain Planet?
No.
He's
I've heard of it.
I want you to Google Captain Planet. Tell me what the characters look like.
Black people.
Mm-mm.
That look like white people.
Mm-mm.
Say it again.
Superheroes.
But what do they look like?
Oh, you talk about those the superhero group, and they were all like a different race.
Yeah.
And they were all working together. I don't.
The 90s and the early 2000s was all about multiculturalism. Like have any of y'all gotten college brochures yet?
No.
Who's on the front of the college brochures though?
The black people.
The black person, a person in a wheelchair, somebody Latino,
To show
an
diversity.
Indian, yes. But the problem is when we focus on all of these things at once, you can't focus on what do black people need. And so this is what Chris is talking about when he says those people's work is part of those uprisings, is part of that resistance. And so it might not be every single person that opened this book, but these black thinkers, like these black political leaders, their ideas, right, carry to all the different black communities in the United States. And so this idea of something being anti-black didn't come from nowhere, but these are the people who have changed how we think and who have made it possible for us to resist and for possible for us to say we're not happy with our conditions and we deserve better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you good. I mean, yeah, you good. That's good. Yeah.
I'm just giving a timely example, bro.
You're great.
Hey man, if I was at church, I'd say that's a good testimony. Anybody got another?